Most people treat their miter saw stand like an afterthought, just something to keep the tool off the floor. But once you've spent a few hours wrestling with a flimsy setup, you realize that the foundation is actually the most important part of the job. This aluminum beast from DEWALT is one of those pieces of gear that just makes you wonder why you didn't upgrade sooner. It's surprisingly light for how much punishment it can take. You're looking at about 29 pounds of aluminum, which means you aren't going to throw your back out just getting it from the truck to the driveway. That's a massive win for anyone working solo. What really hits you when you start using it is the sheer capacity. You can stretch this thing out to support 16 feet of lumber, which is honestly overkill for most home projects, but it's a lifesaver when you're dealing with long trim or crown molding. It handles up to 500 pounds, so you don't have to worry about it buckling under the weight of a heavy-duty saw or a stack of pressure-treated boards. The leg lock levers are snappy and feel solid, not like those cheap plastic clips that snap off after a month of cold weather. You can get this thing standing and ready to work in seconds, which is exactly what you want when the clock is ticking. The mounting system is another highlight. It uses these universal brackets that let you lock in pretty much any brand of saw you've got sitting in the garage. It's a quick-release setup, so if you need to move the saw or swap it out, you aren't fumbling with a dozen bolts. You can even slide the saw anywhere along the rail, which is a nice touch if you're trying to balance the weight or clear space for a specific cut. The material supports are equally flexible, and they've got these flip-up stops that make repetitive cuts feel like a breeze. Now, it isn't perfect. While the aluminum construction is great for weight, it can get a little dinged up if you're tossing it around the back of a truck without a care in the world. It's durable, sure, but it's not indestructible. Also, the footprint is fairly wide when it's fully extended, so if you're working in a cramped shed or a tiny garage, you're going to need to clear some serious floor space. You might find yourself wishing for a slightly smaller footprint in those tight corners, but that's the trade-off for having such a stable platform. Honestly, the non-marring feet on the tool mounts are a small detail that shows they actually thought about the user. You aren't going to be scratching up your gear every time you mount the saw. It's one of those tools that just does its job without making a fuss. If you're tired of your saw wobbling or your material sagging, this is the kind of upgrade that changes how you approach your projects. It's sturdy, it's portable, and it's built to last through a lot of long days. For anyone serious about getting clean, accurate cuts without the headache of a shaky setup, this is a solid bet.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.